Servus Männer, it's Red Pill Germany again. Today's video is called RPG on RBG. So, that is not an interracial naughty film or something like that, but my commentary on the life and passing of the star of the US American liberal elite, or of the leftists basically. Not all of them are belonging to the elite, of course. And RBG, that is not Red Pill Germany, but of course that female, I think Ruth Bader Ginsburg is her name. She was a judge on the US Supreme Court, SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, and she her goal was, her big life goal, that she would stay alive and make it until Trump's presidency is over. Of course, that has the background that her wish was not to be replaced by a conservative candidate, and I think she was 97. She was in her 90s. Let's say her natural lifespan was probably at its end years ago, and they used all sorts of scientific and unholy methods to eke out a couple of more days, just so that President Trump cannot choose or appoint another candidate like Judge Kavanaugh. But maybe more about this in a later video. So she is called a trailblazer, a hero of modern women, a feminist, a fighter for the equality of the sexes, and so on. If you read a little bit about her, you will see that during her lifetime she received a lot of support from a lot of men, and they were bending over backwards in order to further her career. And then of course Trump also said she was an amazing or an exceptional person, and I think it's true. She probably she was a very driven person. I think it's safe to say that. She was a very good student, a very bright, intelligent person, obviously. But the question is always, and I said this for a long time, long before I started making YouTube videos, the question is, when you have great gifts, when you have great power, when you have some ability, intelligence, what have you, that in and of itself is not a value, I would say. It's a tool, it's its power. But the question is, what are you using it for? What is your purpose? What is your goal? Are you using it for good, for evil? Are you growing something? Are you building something? Or are you tearing something down? Are you destroying something that is good? And let's be honest here. I don't know this person. I didn't know that female. I think a lot of people didn't know her. She only ever frequented the most elite and most exclusive circles of society. I guess the common working man had very little to do with her, so I cannot really judge her person or character or whatever, and I think I shouldn't. It's unimportant. Our Lord Jesus said that when you want to judge a person, you should look what kind of fruits did his actions bear. What were his actions? And based on the actions and on the consequences, based on that, you should judge a person. And the beauty is, you don't have to know someone intimately or personally in order to do that. So what is the big legacy of her life? What are the things that she really changed, or that she that she upheld? And that is undoubtedly the right of American females to end a life. Yeah? So that you don't need to take care about where and when you spread your legs, but and the consequences are none of your concern. And the fact that you always had the right to, or the option, the possibility to give a child to foster parents or to adoption. You could even anonymously, leave the child a warden of the state, or give them anonymously away. No shame, no stigmatization. But that wasn't enough, no, because we all know that that is not the point. Yeah? The women not only don't want anything to do with the children they create, 50% at least is their responsibility, the other 50% is the men, but they also don't want to ruin their figures. And this is really all it comes down to, because it's not about raising the kid or breastfeeding or this and that. It doesn't matter, because a woman, if she didn't want to, never had to do these things. Never. Yeah? But, giving birth to a child, that ruins your figure, You carry baby weight then, and maybe it does something to your private parts or something, right? And, of course, the next man that woman wants to get, that man would notice that sooner or later, right? So this inconvenience, this is all that it is. So she fought for the right of a woman to not ruin her figure when she became pregnant by a man that has not enough money, or that doesn't look good enough, or doesn't have the social standing she wants from her partner. And she's still on the lookout for some more fat, juicy target, right? That is her life's legacy. Yeah? And don't start with equality and a right for a woman to get a job and all these things. Come on, women had that before. She herself is the best example, and many women before that, hundreds and thousands of years before her, already had careers, already managed huge estates, inherited their father's company, wealth, even they were heads of states, they ruled empires. So don't give me any of that nonsense. She's not a trailblazer in that sense. Yeah, maybe she was the first longest serving female Supreme Court judge, what have you. I mean, okay, yeah, if you go very much into the specifics, yeah, then you're always the first at something. Yeah, like the first brown-haired, glasses-wearing carpenter in that district, what have. I mean, yeah, if you go into the super specifics, you always find something that everybody is the first at. So, but that is not special, okay? So, now, do you find this video distasteful? Because a lot of leftists, of course, are on the streets now, and they're singing these moving leftist hippie songs in her to her memory or something like that. And of course they demand everybody to bow down to her and to acknowledge what a great person she was. But yeah, when I saw these pictures, you know what I was reminded of? You know what my first thought was? Because I'm old enough to remember, what happened when Margaret Thatcher died in the UK. And not only there, in other countries also. Leftists were out in the street drinking cheap bubbly wine, because of course they don't even know what champagne is, and they were celebrating, they were dancing, and they were singing a very distasteful song. Yeah? It is like the witch is dead, but the witch was actually pronounced and spelled with a B instead of a W. Yeah? And it's funny, when you look on YouTube these days, you still find that punk rock song on there. It's still on there. You can look for it. Yeah, Thatcher and the Witch is Dead, but spelled with a B. And you find that song after all these years. Nobody got in trouble with that. Nobody was banned. Nobody was reprimanded. Nobody lost their jobs. Nothing happened. The left, they have the right to be as disrespectful as they want to a stunning, brave female trailblazer in the UK, you know, Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. And by the way, Thatcher was actually an educated woman. She was a chemist, I think. Yeah, so she dealt with objective, observable reality and not just produced hot air like RBG or RPG right now, of course. But yeah, she didn't deal only in words and man-made constructs, but Mrs. Thatcher actually dealt with nature, with actual reality as a natural scientist. And she became Prime Minister of the UK. And they actually, I mean, figuratively, they danced on her grave. And they celebrated. Oh, she is dead, yay. And they were holding up signs saying rejoice, rejoice. And those videos are still online. Look them up if you want to. If you want to see something really nasty, look that up. And now, does anybody on the right do something that is remotely similar to what the leftists did when Margaret Thatcher died? And I think you can totally compare these things. Both were brave women, you know, who succeeded in a man's world and all that stuff, right? But right now, I don't see any disrespect coming from the right whatsoever, you know. And I also didn't give her any disrespect. I said that her deeds were evil, and her deeds were serving a dark and, yeah, a dark and unholy power. Let's be very, very straightforward about that. What she did, she's not the only one, of course, but she was on that side, in that camp, that promoted and upheld all these things. And that is plain evil. She was not praying to our natural spirits or gods or Lord Jesus or what have you. She was praying to death. Yeah. She was praying at the altar of death. And, you know, in the Middle Ages, there was this image of hellfire and all that stuff. But in more modern theology, some people say that instead of there, you go to when you lived your life in the as far away as possible from God as you can, after death, you will be in a place that is also as far away from God as you can possibly be. And maybe that's where she is right now, as far away from God as she possibly can be. Let me know what you have to say about that. I just thought that the pictures that I saw yesterday and the pictures that I saw when Margaret Thatcher died, to me, in my brain, that was an instant connection was made between these events and these days and these reactions from the public. And there is something about leftists, you know, when they mourn quote-unquote loved person or something, which is ridiculous because the left cannot love anybody, right? We all know that. These people cannot love. But when like somebody they deem to be their hero or on their side, an important ally in their camp or something, then they demand from everybody in the world to share into their mourning or their sadness. And of course everybody has to be respectful, right? And when someone from the other side dies, you know, they not only behave unpious, is that the word? But they I mean, just look at the videos, right? Look at what they did when Thatcher died. I don't think I have to spell it out. I mean, they danced, they drank sparkling wine, they were singing, they were saying, hey, she's dead, woohoo, you know? I mean, absolutely crazy, absolutely crazy. And just imagine if somebody would do that now when RBG, yeah. Is it dying or is just like some machines? I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe she was dead a long time ago. Yeah, maybe she died 20 years ago and it was just some machines, some pumps and processors and I don't know. Okay, that's it from my side for today, and I'm enjoying the afternoon sun right now. And yeah, some people can't enjoy the sun anymore, but I think they had their time in the sunshine, and all we can do is, in retrospect, judge what they did with their time in the sunlight. Did they use it for good or for evil? And my verdict when it comes to RBG is pretty much set. She was a force of evil, of great destruction, and yeah, she destroyed families. Her hatred. I mean, once again, I don't know her, but it seems like, based on her actions, I can only speculate that she must have had some extreme, seething hatred towards European people and European families, especially European children. That is, to me at least, very, very clear. And yeah, it's a good thing she's gone. Servus, Kameraden.